Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, viewers, and hello to my lecture in psycholinguistic subject. So, in this opportunity, I would like to present and review an article entitled "A Case Study of Language Impairment, Stuttering, a Psycholinguistic Approach," conducted by Nuryani Wibisono and Salikin 2022. But before I review and explain what have they found in their article, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Ahmad Faruri Putra Pratama. In this video, I made to fulfill my final test in psycholinguistics subject. So let's we move to the background first. But this is we have outlined. There is five stage in these presentations. There are background, methodology, findings, discussion, and conclusions. And now we'll move to the background. So in the background, the article states some people experience language impairments that affect their ability to speak fluently. One of these impairments is stuttering, a condition where someone has trouble speaking smoothly, often repeating words, pausing, or making unintentional sounds. This article focuses on of an unusual case of Mr. AG, an adult man from Petung village in Bondowoso, East Java, who still suffers from stuttering along with dyslexia and epilepsy. So the researchers states that language plays an essential role helping us share thought, emotion, and ideas. And some individuals face difficulties in producing smooth and coherent speech due to language impairment that is stuttering. So, for everyone who don't know what is stuttering, stuttering is commonly seen in children and young male teenagers. It usually appears during early stage of speech development and often disappears as they grow older, but in some rare cases, stuttering persists into adulthood. People who stutter may repeat certain syllables or sounds, pause in the middle of the sentence, and or insert unnecessary noises because of nervousness or anxiety. These disruptions can make communication difficult and often cause emotional distress. According to the Stuttering Foundations, approximately around 70 million people around the world suffer from stuttering, with men being four times more likely to experience it than women. Um, by the way, this research focuses on a unique case of adult stuttering experienced by Mr. AG. And what makes Mr. AG's case particularly interesting is that he continues to stutter in adulthood, even though this is considered rare. In addition to stuttering, Mr. AG also struggles with dyslexia, difficulty reading and writing, and epilepsy, which adds further complexity to his conditions. His case attracted the attention of researchers because it provides an opportunity to study adult stuttering from a psycholinguistic perspective, an area that is still under research. Previous studies have mostly focused on stuttering in children or adolescent males, and in very few cases in females. For instance, one study looked at stuttering in a 16 years old girl and another examined stuttering among elementary school boys. But these studies suggest that while stuttering in young males is somewhat common, Adult cases, especially those like Mr. Ages, are much less discussed. So the researchers believe this gap in the literature highlights the need for more attention to adult stuttering, particularly in individuals with additional language or neurological conditions. Given this context, the current study seeks to explore three main questions that you can see here. So the researchers wants to um, found what are the specific forms of stuttering that Mr. Edgy experiences, and then the second is what are underlying causes behind his stuttering, and the third is how has stuttering affected his daily life and psychological being. So we're going to the next slide. In this methodology, the researchers using a descriptive qualitative approach. They are doing several steps before conduct the research, such as interview and transcript. And uh, I have read the whole article they made, and why they use descriptive methodology, because this approach is used to describe the findings of the research in detail, because commonly descriptive qualitative the data will in the form of utterances, but researchers before starting uh, this research, they asked permission from Mr. Ag and his parents that the researchers was interested in studying the language impairment experienced by Mr. Ag. The researchers also used typing technique to record the conversations so the subject would speak more natural. And the researchers also conducted interviews with related parties. The researchers will transcribe the data and then describe, interpret, and then explain the phenomenon of stuttering. That's why they use this methodology of descriptive qualitative approach. Now we have findings. There are forms, and then factor, psychological conditions, and treatments. There are four findings. Yep, this is the discussions. Um, in the forms, the researchers divide. There are five forms of stuttering. The first is you should know extending sound. The data will sound like this. The researchers, Mr. AG, kamu sudah bilang masmu kalau mau pergi sama kita in Indonesia, but they translated into English. Hello, Mr. G. Have you told your brother that you will go with us? And then the Mr. AG replied with, Iya mbak, sudah. Or in English, yes, sister, I did. Yeah, that is the extending sound. So extending sounds often extend speech to certain letters while conversating, such as this datum number 1. This data shows that Mr. AG extends the sound when he is speaking. He extends ear after he can achieve success in his first words, then his utterances becomes smoother. Now, there are repetitions. So repeating sounds more than twice of sounds and syllables because he loses ideas or maybe forgets and is nervous. So the data sounds like this. The researcher asked to Mr. AG, Mr. AG, kamu punya HP nggak? Or in English, Mr. AG, do you have handphone? And then Mr. AG replied, enggak mbak, saya mau beli HP mbak. Or in English, no sister, I want to buy it. So repeating sounds more than twice of sounds labels represents that Mr. AG doing the repetitions, and also the data shows that he repeats the sound E, S, and B, such as be in bisa mbak, sounds like that. So there is having pauses in the data tree. It sounds, keponakanmu sekolah di mana sih? The researcher asked, and then Mr. AG replied, nggak tahu mbak. Yes, that is the having pauses in the conversations above. When Mr. AG pauses his utterances, his facial expression turns, his lips seems hard to open, his eyes blink, and his head shakes. And from the data above, it can be seen that Mr. AG pauses because he's maybe confused about the question, because he doesn't know the answer. His pauses is about 5 seconds, the researcher said. It indicates that he is panicking, but when he's relaxed, he only has to pause 2 seconds. Now, there's interjections in the data sounds. Mr. AG asked, Mbak, kapan pergi ke Pasir Putih? Mr. AG said in English, Sis, when will we go to Pasir Putih? Sounds like that. And the researchers replied, Ayo kapan? Kamu ikut ya? And then Mr. AG replied again, Ayo mbak. There's a pause of 2 seconds pause. Interjections happens when stutter gives insertion or addition of sounds that are not appropriate when speaking due to confusions, forgetfulness, and nervousness, so that he is unable to express what he thinks to the other person clearly. And the last form is circumlocutions, says, Bang, kemarin ada kecelakaan di pom bensin Taman Sari. Or in English, Bang, yesterday there was an accident at the Taman Sari gas stations. And then Mr. Ajil said again, itu bang, ada motor dari arah selatan ke kencang, sounds like this. So circumlocution is words with certain sounds are replaced with others. This happens when a starter feels panic so much that he cannot produce the words which exist in his mind. Yep. There are factors that Mr. AG experiences, and is divided into 2 parts. The first is genetic. Mr. AG's father also experiences difficulty in conveying words, and that's why Mr. AG also experiences these stutters. And second is neurological, epilepsy and damage to the language regulating nerves. The study proves that Mr. AG experiencing stuttering due to the genetic factor from his father. This fact is known by the researchers after they doing in-depth observations and interviews with family and co-workers. Another factor is the presence of neurological disorders when he was little. When Mr. AG little, he often had high fevers and seizures, and this caused 2 major influences in Mr. AG's life. The first is that he currently suffers from epilepsy caused by nerve damage in the brain due to seizures as a child. And the second is Mr. AG has a stuttering language disorder caused by damage to the language regulating nerves. Now, there are symptoms. Here, the researchers paying attention to the visible symptoms during the observation with Mr. AG. Through the interview process, they mentioned 5 points. The symptoms are eyes blink a lot, trembling on the lips, face look tense, twitching of facial muscles, head shaking slightly. Now, psychological conditions. Insecurity leads to unacceptable persons in the society, able to force someone in depressions. Stuttering makes Mr. AG unconfident and inferior. It becomes pathetic because of his impairment. He refused to access education on the grounds that he is often bullied and humiliated by his friends. He intentionally mimicked his stuttering with the intention of teasing Mr. AG. Mr. AG, or person who experiences stuttering, is vulnerable to get negative reaction by the society. Bullying that comes continuation will lead to depressions and pressure. Now, the article also provides treatments how to solve stuttering. There are counseling, speech therapy, or doctor's medications. Some of the above options can be done by stutterers to meet directly with an expert in the field, such as that I have mentioned those three. Keep in mind that it is possible that stuttering doesn't completely disappear but can at least be controlled or reduced. Yes, we have to the conclusion or in the end of these presentations. To conclude, this article discusses a case studies of Mr. AG, an adult man who experienced stuttering because two factors, neurological and descended from his fathers. So the research focused on identifying the forms, causes, and impact of his stuttering using a psycholinguistic approach. The study found that Mr. AG shows all five common types of stuttering: repetition, sound extension, pauses, interjection, and circumlocutions, often influenced by his emotional state. And stuttering has negatively affected his life, especially in terms of education and self-confidence. So it encouraged more awareness and research on adult cases. That's the end of these presentations. I would like to say thank you to all viewers who who have been paying attention until the end of this presentation. Thank you so much, and I hope my presentations can fulfill my final phase. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.